Hey, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the symbolic meaning of an Achilles tendon rupture. I think there's actually a lot of spiritual symbolism in this injury. So whether you've had an Achilles tendon rupture or you're just curious about the deeper meaning of this very unique injury, stay tuned. I'm making this post for kind of a long-term basis. I know a lot of people that are subscribed to me right now probably don't resonate with this exact situation, but this is a very common injury, and I think over time, a lot of people are gonna start to resonate with this, or they're gonna be looking for a deeper symbolic meaning as to what is going on in their lives. Because this injury really does kind of bring you to your knees. It's a huge awakening. And so I expect over time, more people to see this video and get some value out of it, at least the ones that are meant to see it. And so my hope for those people is that this video can lead to deeper inner and outer healing, and you come out of this experience with more wisdom and greater life energy. So for beginners, I'll tell you my story. I ruptured my Achilles tendon during a kickboxing class. It was towards the end of the class. We were just like basically winding down, and I was doing some knee thrusts. And on one of the last ones, when I came back on my left foot, I felt this pop, and basically my foot just gave out. I pretty much fell to the ground because there was just nothing there. And there was pain, but there wasn't a lot of pain. It was more of just a shock. It was just like this weird pop that I had never felt before. And it definitely felt like something like came undone. And so, you know, it was just kind of stunned by it because, again, I think a lot of people will relate, especially if it's a total tear. There really isn't a lot of pain. I mean, it hurt, it was throbbing, but I think with the adrenaline and everything, it was more kind of numb than anything. So I guess I wasn't super like concerned at first. I just kind of hobbled home. I was only, you know, a block away from my house. So I was able to kind of make it back home. And I thought it was going to get better in a couple days. So basically just kind of waited a couple days and was trying to stay off of it as much as possible. I even went to like a physical therapist and was trying to get it back to health sooner, but it just wasn't getting better. And I wasn't able to put any weight on my tippy toes. Not that I couldn't put weight on it, it was just like there was nothing there. Like if I tried, there was no signal really from, you know, like to push off on my tippy toes. I couldn't even push the clutch in on the car. It was just like there was nothing there. No matter how hard I tried to go up on my tippy toes or push down, there was nothing there. But I could still walk because of the bone, you know, on my heel going up. Like there was still stability and I could walk, but there was just nothing, you know, like pushing off on my tippy toes. And so kind of the moral is really of the Achilles tendon, it's like no matter what you do, it's not enough, right? And so I'm going to kind of stick on this theme throughout this because that's really the moral of this whole injury and story, and how you actually can start to create some healing and connection with inner feelings of this not being enough, and how this injury, I think, transpires, so that you can transmute and transcend this inner dynamic like once and for all. Because it really comes down to this. This is the going into the dark abyss and coming out with this kind of healing, this deep inner wound of not enough, being healed once and for all. If you can really tap into what's trying to be communicated here. And so to back up a little bit, I basically ended up getting an MRI and going to a few doctors. And in fact, I went to like 3 different doctors. The first one didn't even see it. The second one said it was a total rupture. The third one said it was a partial rupture. And then I finally just said, screw it, went and got an MRI. And we found out that it was a 70% rupture. There was still 30% hanging on. And they just basically said the best thing to do is to operate if you ever want to get 100% of your strength back in your Achilles tendon. And so fortunately for me, right now I'm in Mexico. And so the surgery, you know, I didn't have insurance, so I ended up having to pay out of my pocket. And luckily here in Mexico, it wasn't that much. It didn't totally break the bank, but it definitely cost something. And so I decided to operate. The surgery went amazing. It only lasted like an hour and a half. And there was definitely like a sense of relief. Like I had made the right decision and now I was on my path of recovery. And so now here I am back home and I've got my crutches and and it's pretty much just turning into this kind of really special period in my life right now of being able to look within, do a lot of reading and resting and just contemplating. I'm really taking this time because the healing journey really is kind of like with the cast on, it's like a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. And then from there we move to a boot, and there's a couple months of just kind of slowly like recuperating. And so now, right now I'm basically taking this time to like go through the whole Bible, read all these like biblical scholars' takes and interpretations on Jesus and God and all these kinds of things. So it's really kind of an interesting time for me. So I'm just like really taking this time for that's kind of like this halfway point in my life of just like really trying to use every moment of this experience to get and take up as much value as I can from this like period of just basically nothingness, because there's really nothing, there's not a lot that you can do. You're pretty much just stuck in bed at home. You can't go out walking. There's just, you just have to wait. But one of the things that's becoming like really clear to me right now is this injury has happened at this point in my life where I'm just getting out of this very kind of deep relationship with another person. And the way the relationship ended, there was all of these kind of simultaneous pieces of awareness that were coming to the fore about feelings of worthiness and my own inner worth, which was also connected to like my own mother wound and the feelings of worth that were wrapped up in that. And so I'm starting to cultivate this deep inner knowing of as within, so without, and how this relationship actually begins to manifest into disease and physical ailments. Because the overwhelming feeling of the Achilles tendon rupture at the root of this injury physically is that no matter what I do, it's just not enough. You can try with all your might, but your foot is just not going to work. And so there was definitely that feeling in this last relationship that I was in, that it was like no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. And in this particular relationship, I was actually at a place in my life where I was giving more to this person than I've ever given to anyone in my life as far as devotion goes. And I'm not perfect, but I know in the heart of my hearts, like I was doing everything I could to show up and be the best version of myself every day. But towards the end, there was just like this feeling like no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. Despite all of my best intentions, everything I was doing was being perceived as bad or selfish, or that I was walking out or something. There was so much confusion around my intentions and the way I was being perceived. And ultimately, the feeling that I was left with was, no matter what I do, I'm not enough. Or ultimately, I'm not enough. And the word rupture was even coming to my mind during that time. Like there was this rupture in this super special relationship that had formed. And it felt like there was this literal rupture in the integrity of what we had created. And then when we finally went our separate ways, it was like within a week or so, this injury happened. And it was like the inner feeling of this unworthiness literally manifested into the outer world, into my Achilles tendon, which was the physical manifestation of this feeling of no matter what I do, it's not enough, which has left me in this kind of, initially this kind of dark abyss place, but which is ultimately now leading to greater awareness and a deep sense of healing every day that goes by right now. Like it was almost necessary for this rupture to bring this deep untruth of unworthiness to the surface so that it could be processed, transmuted, healed, and transcended. And it also started to bring a lot of new outer truth to my life. What this experience can do for you, if you're watching this and you're in this kind of similar situation, I would be willing to bet a lot of people who are watching this, who actually have an Achilles rupture, I would almost be willing to bet that there's a very high likelihood that this kind of same dynamic is going on in your life, whether it's with your parents, your siblings, a loved one, a wife or a husband, something like that. There's something right now that's wrapped up in this feeling of self-worth that is now showing up into your physical body through this injury. I would be willing to bet. So hopefully this brings some awareness to that. And you don't just think of it as some like sports injury, although it could be, but my take is that it has something much, much more to do with processing this inner lie of self-worth and not being good enough. And this is your time to really, really see the truth of that and heal from this injury and heal from this false belief so that you come out of this experience stronger than ever. And I think what you're going to see is it's kind of like hitting the reset button in your life, because the people that are truly there that love you are going to show up. My mom and my dad have been just like by my side, you know. Other people who have been reaching out, sending me prayers and all this kind of stuff. Like, you really start to see who truly cares for you and wants the best for you. And so there's this simultaneous like clarity of vision of everything that was happening in your life and the truth of it. And then also the people who have kind of just disappeared. And the thing is, we all have these feelings, these inner feelings of unworthiness that we're here to deal with. Every single human being has it. So I think if you want to make the best out of this process, here's my tips. Use this period as a period of total surrender, because it's really kind of all you can do. You're forced with this situation where you have no choice but to surrender to the help of others. I mean, for me to even go get a cup of coffee or something like that's like really challenging, right? It takes a lot more effort and focus. And so this is a great test right now to just kind of surrender to life and to see who shows up and to not waste this beautiful opportunity to read and journal and create. I'm even using this time right now to create these videos and get myself stronger. So if there's anything that you've been putting off for a while, or something that you wished you had the time to do, whether it's getting through like a, you know, huge novel, or just like going deep on some activity, or picking up, you know, a paintbrush, or starting some new artistic endeavor, writing, creating videos, whatever it is, reestablishing relationships with people that you've lost touch with. Use this as a period of rebirth and revelation. Use this as a springboard, literally, because that's literally what you're recreating, is this kind of springboard back into life. Use this period, moment by moment, to come back stronger than ever, both inward and outward. I wish you luck on your journey. I hope this video was helpful. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey, thank you for watching. If you like this video, you may like this one too. Click on it and go ahead and click that subscribe button too. It helps me a lot, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.